Hey guys, it's Sensei Phil with Chosen Martial Arts Academy. I'm here with AJ. Wanted to talk about some additional techniques that we'd be able to use. So up to this point, we've talked about upper body techniques, started getting to the lower body. The last one we talked about was the teep. This time I want to get into the knees. Now, very much like the upper body strikes, there's distance that we have to consider, right? So here are straight shots. That's very far apart. But as he comes in, right, or I get closer to him, these straight shots really don't work as well, right? So not only does that happen on the upper body, it also happens on the lower body. So we're talking about getting teeps in there. That's really good for keeping him outside. But listen, we're going to be moving in a dynamic way, right? He's going to be attacking me. I might be moving around, trying to defend myself or whatever. This is only going to be effective at this kind of distance. So I have to change things up as he gets a little bit closer. And one of the things I'll be able to use is the knee strike, okay? So the knee is just that. It's this part of the leg right here. The only thing to consider anytime you're using your lower body is doing it in a safe way. You want to be effective, but you want to be safe also, such that, here's the thing. If I'm going to kick him or knee him or anything like that, I'm on what? One leg. So by definition, this is not very stable. Not as stable as this, right? So we want to be sure that if we're going to risk that strike, that kick or that knee, that we're in a position that we're a bit safer to be able to do that. So if he's coming in on me and I just do this, that's not really safe because he's got his wits about him still, right? So anytime I'm going to be throwing a kick or a knee, I want to distract him or I want to have some control over him in some way, okay? So before we get into how we may be able to do that, let me go over the mechanics of the knee, all right? So basically, there's two steps that I go into when I'm teaching this. The first is, and let's just go this way, AJ. I want to get it from the rear. Now, why is that?
Power.
Power. There's more power here. This is quicker, right, here, but there's more power here. So if I'm throwing a strike that is more high risk, high reward, I want that power in there, okay? So get it from the rear. If I'm doing it from the other side for some reason, maybe I switch. That gives me more power there, all right? So in this case, I'm going to start from this rear, in this case, my right. And there's two movements that I talk about with this one. First one is getting that knee up, right? Just getting the knee up. And depending on where the target is, I don't know if I've mentioned this in the past, but there's three things you got to think about. There's the target, right? What am I trying to hit? Okay? The second thing is my weapon. In this case, my weapon is my knee. The third is the movement. Okay? Now, the movement is going to be dictated by those first two things, right? So if I'm going to be hitting your head, well, I want to hit it with a knee, I need to get your head in a place where I can hit it, right? So in that case, if my target is here, this is the movement for my knee. Now, if I can't get him down here, right, maybe he's up in front of me, the movement is going to be more forward. So knee, forward here. So the way that works is 1 and then 2, forward. So hipping, use your hip, use your weight transfer to come in this way, especially if you're going to go straight into somebody's body, all right? So in this case, I'm just going to do it without, and just kind of isolate the knee. First is up and then forward, right? Up, forward. One more up and then forward, okay? Now, again, that is something where it's dangerous for me to do that right away here. Now, you can see that in MMA and some other places where they'll do those types of attacks. But there are rules to that, right? I mean, if it's such that somebody falls down or whatever, he has space, there's a lot of other factors that come into play. When it comes to self-defense, man, you don't want to get on the ground, right? You want to protect yourself as much as possible, okay? So the way that we do that is we distract before we get to throw this, okay? And one of the ways we could do that is you can do palm strikes, right? So if I just come in, palm, palm, then I get this clinch, right? Now what this does is it controls him. The more control I have over him, the less likely it is, it's safer for me, the less likely it is for him to do something really bad to me as opposed to if he was upright and ready, right? I'm distracting him. Now I've got control. Now I can throw these knees and I can just throw here. Now, if I'm going to be hitting to his head, if I can get the back of his head, do that. That's great. If I can go into his body, maybe his solar plexus or his gut, I want to pull in for that as well, okay? So don't think of this as just kind of like balancing me. Right here, boom, boom, right here, and then doing this. I want that force coming in, like it's like an automobile collision, right? Head on, bam. So here, pull in, pull in, pull in. And then what I'll do typically is I'll just machine gun one side, right? I don't have to be like boom and then switch and then switch. It's like if you see that something is working, especially with your strikes, you just go on, keep on doing the same thing, bam, 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 until you want to do something else, right? Take them down or whatever it might be. So that's the knee here, right? So here, let me do it for hold for AJ. We'll see him. So initially, I want him to do a couple palm strikes, get me in a clinch, and then go ahead and throw those knees. Give me 3 knees. Right? Boom, boom, bam, bam, bam. Right? Again. Boom, boom, bam, bam, bam. Nice. Now you notice that AJ is coming in with an underhook on there as well. Listen, if you can get that, because that's a much more dominant position as far as clinching is concerned, that's fine. The thing is, you may not be able to get that. Right. So what I like to say is just get whatever control you can get. Maybe it's not on this side. Maybe it's on this side, and you can only get the arms. Well, that's just the way it works sometimes. You pull in that way, okay? So you're going to have to adjust on the fly. Let's get the other way. But feel it out, okay? So pom-pom, pom-pom, right here. Right away, boom, boom. Now you want to be sure to get it right away with those knees. This is just a distraction. Don't worry about making these too hard. Right. You just want me to think it. Go ahead, pom-pom, bam, bam. And now, oh my gosh, now I see that I'm in the clinch and I'm getting the knees in, right? So that's it for the knees. I think that's it. Any questions on that one? No, no question. All right. This is Sensei Phil with Chosen Martial Arts. We'll see you next time.